From New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show.
Hello, this is the Hot Topic Show. What do we do?
We won't judge, but we're judging. It's going to be juicy.
Now, here's Wendy.
Thank you for watching our show. I know you have choices, at least 1,000 channels. So thank you for choosing us. Say hello to my co-host, my studio audience. Are you ready to have some fun? Oh, good. Great, let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Suzanne, I thought that the beautiful woman with that long hair over there, I thought she was naked at first.
Oh my God, yes!
Right?
Yes! Look at her, all
Yes,
nude.
your outfit, like, stand up.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Wow.
Now, when you come to our show, just remember, dress how you want, but just make sure it's outstanding.
Yeah!
Okay. We have to talk about this nasty feud that's brewing between Russell Crowe and Azealia Banks. Oh. Now, okay, so Russell Crowe threw a dinner party at a hotel in Beverly Hills. And it was only supposed to be for 10 people. And the purpose of the party was to, you know, have food and listen to music. That's it. Nice. So Azealia was a +1 of RZA, you know, straight from the slums of Shaolin, Wu-Tang, RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, come on, yeah. He's one of the Wu-Tang Clan, but he has come beyond the Wu-Tang Clan, and he's now a director, and he's scoring movies, so RZA is a big shot. So this Azealia, Iggy, is newly signed to RZA's record label. And I guess Russell never specified no +1s. Mistake on his part. I don't know about you, I don't like +1s. I am very specific with people regarding that. Like, if you're invited to a wedding and you don't have a +1, then either choose not to go, but don't violate what the bride wants. She said no +1 for you. You know what I mean? And sometimes people get it twisted. They feel like, why can't I bring a +1? I've been dating, you know, Billy for 3 months. Well, you know what? Because I'm the one getting married, and I don't want Billy in my wedding pictures, because 3 months later, you won't be with him. He's not gonna come in here and eat my crab legs and my shrimp and drink my fancy champagne. So if you can't come to my wedding by yourself, then don't come. So anyway, I guess Russell didn't say you can't bring a +1. So now here goes RZA with Azealia Banks on his arm. Not dating, but like I said, you know, he's her boss. Azealia gets in there, and here she goes. She mocked the music that Russell listens to, calling it boring white man music. Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little Neil Diamond. You know, there's nothing wrong with Journey and, you know, Iggy Azalea. Everybody doesn't listen to whatever it is you listen to. But the idea that you are a +1 and getting loud, and then Russell tried to throw her out. Now, you know, Russell Crowe is known for a bad temper. Oh, yes. Well, I told you the story about how the phone in his room wasn't working properly. So he takes the phone out of the wall, gets on the elevator, rides down to the concierge desk, and throws the phone at the concierge. Allegedly. I mean, but he's not known for having like an even-keeled temper. So between her making fun and her being a +1, and when you're a +1, you usually have to be asked by the host at least 5 times, what's your name again? All right, Azealia Banks is also known for her celebrity feuds. So she doesn't have an even temper either. She's had beef with Zayn Malik, beef with Sarah Palin, and beef with Lady Gaga. Now look. This girl, Azealia, allegedly tried to throw a glass of wine at Russell and then threatened to stab him. What the housewife is this? What is going on? Okay, so we haven't heard a peep from him. This just happened. But we've heard a peep from her. And she's trying to milk the situation, even tried to throw in that he tried to use the N-word at her. My people, my people. To recap my night, I went to a party at Russell Crowe's suite, at which he called me the N-word, choked me, threw me out, and spat at me. According to her, allegedly. Listen, I'm not on either one of their sides because Russell, you know, you shouldn't have had anybody bring +1s. That way your area would be secured, safe. You know everybody there. Nobody's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And Iggy, I don't know that any of this is true, and I hope that it's not. But she is threatening, or has she already filed her police report?
She did.
She's filed a police report. Crowe hasn't done anything. RZA, the only one that I want to hear from is you, because you were the only other black person there, I'm assuming. So I know I needed to hear from, happy birthday. Yeah, yeah, happy birthday. But I need to hear from somebody at the party, even though according to the Hot Topics Bureau, people at the party have already started talking, and what they're saying is that this girl, Azealia, was the wrong one, and Russell was even keeled and you know, correct. I don't know any of this. All I know is that the only person that I believe is, at this particular time, RZA. You know, RZA and Russell, in case you're wondering their connection, RZA was directed by Russell in a movie years ago. Now, it escapes me what the name is. What?
The Man and the Iron Fist.
The Man.
RZA was the director.
Oh, RZA directed Russell in Man with the Iron Fist. Oh, yes, oh, yes. Plus, he scores movies. Like, RZA's a big shot. And if I were Russell Crowe, I wouldn't do anything regarding this because, you know, the amount of money that you pay to defend yourself, you get a lawyer, now you gotta go back and forth to court over what? There were 10 people in the room and there are 9 people who know exactly what happened, and I have no idea what happened, but it's kind of like if you tap somebody's bumper. You ever pull up, you know, Korean into the grocery store? That's usually where it happens. Batty women who can't drive. Or we're busy, you know, spanking our children in the back, or on the phone, which you shouldn't be, or trying to steer with you know, and then all of a sudden, ding, you hit somebody. A little hitation. Everything doesn't require a call to insurance. Sometimes what you do is you exchange numbers and you go on the good word of, here's my address, I'm going to mail you a check. What do you think that is, a $500, you know, or something like that? Like, you don't call the cops for everything. So I'll be following this story because I'm very curious about the outcome. All right. Mary, just make it go away. Mare, just make it go away. The longer you drag it out, the more me and Hot Topics have to talk about it. No, Mary doesn't hate my day job. She knows this is what I do. Look, Ken Do, Mary's soon-to-be ex-husband, is now allegedly demanding $130,000 a month from Mary during the process of their filing for this divorce. If I were Mary, I'd be in my attorney's office right now hashing this out. Right now, like, let's hash this out, you know? Nobody wants to give can do, you know, like, what was it, like, over $1.5 million or something like that. That would be over a 12-month period. If it takes a year to hash out this divorce, they don't have children together. Kids are the thing that, to me, that's like the caveat. Like, if you don't have kids together, if all you have is property and stuff, sell it, split it, done. Yes. Like, done, I'm done. I have a headache, and you're making me have wrinkles, which is gonna make me ugly for my next man, because you know I'll get a next man. You know what you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we as... My cannons are really on display today, aren't they? I just looked down. I just looked down at me and Mary wearing the same dress. Mary, you look like a flat-chested 8th grader compared to my mess. And I mean that in a great way, Mary. I mean that in a great way. Anyway, so he's claiming that he deserves this money because, after all, he says that Mary got him used to a lavish lifestyle during their marriage. I don't like that phrase, the lavish lifestyle. It makes it sound like he's like a creep or something. But in actual, no. What he is her soon-to-be ex-husband and also her, well, now ex-manager. You know, when you're managing, when you mix business with pleasure, all the things get a little confused. So he does deserve something from her. And ladies, if the shoe were on the other foot, we would definitely be cheering for the woman. So, what he deserves, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, they were married for 12 years. All right, well, 13, 14, and 15, and 18, when you met her, she was already popping. So it's not like, you know, you were a manager who brought her up from the ashes and made her a star. She was already a star. But I can understand maybe that thing where he got accustomed to a lifestyle, because I'm sure because she was a star already, their first date, they might have taken a private plane to Ipanema, you know, for a plate of squid, because that's what Mary likes. You know how these stars do. They're very eccentric, they spend a lot of money. If you're new to their lives, then all of a sudden, you kind of get used to that, like, all right now, lunch in Portofino, and we'll be back in New York by noon? Perfect, let's go, you know? And, you know, for you can do, because here's the thing, there are plenty of girls out there willing to hire you to manage them or romance them or whatever, simply because, nothing against you can do, you're not a bad looking man, but you've been touched by greatness, Mary. Yeah. I mean, once you're an unknown person, but then you touch, you know, the light of celebrity, you know, you marry somebody or something like that, then you can always go on and get another, you know. Look how that girl who was with Chris Brown, Karrueche Tran, right? We didn't know who that was. But now she's dating ball players and whatever she's doing herself, and she's not doing it with Chris Brown, but anyway, Mary, make your music, because I know that's what makes you happy. Get this divorce over as quick as possible, because you don't need any more sad in your life. This is not a song I want to hear. Not. And personally speaking, Mary, as somebody who knows you from away from the lights and the camera and the action, as somebody who knows you, Mary, I don't even like doing the story, but I have to on account of this is what I've done all of them. Come on, Mary, you know how I do. But I have to. It's awkward. All right, Mary, you think your problems are bad. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, girl. Okay, their former head of security is speaking out. And this is just not like some jackleg guy that was Brad's best friend. who now works security for them. No, this guy is highly decorated. His name is Mark. And there's Mark, but don't mess with him. He kind of looks like the son of Gordon Ramsay, doesn't he? Like, doesn't he look Gordon Ramsay-esque right up here? Anyway, his name is Mark, and he fought in Iraq. And he did a special, he was in special service, air service in Britain for 27 years. So this guy comes with the goods. So his name is Mark Billingham, and he was with Brad and Angelina for 18 months and the family, and he got close enough, and now he's talking. No. I know. I don't want him to be talking because it makes you feel like nothing is sacred, but talking is good for our business. So let's go. Let's go. He said a lot, but a few of the things that he said, number one, Brad and Angelina are very, very nervous about their kids being kidnapped. So he would never let people near them. Like even if, new security was hired and stuff, the new security would have to stand over there. It was only Mark who was allowed, at the kids, like with tactical, communication, touching them and stuff. Anyway, Mark was also surprised with Brad and Angelina's lack of common sense. Why no? Well, now you say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I didn't see the interview, and I can only tell you what I learned from the Bureau. Well, I venture to say Angelina, because she grew up, daughter of John Voight, she grew up, in Hollywood and stuff. She might not know how to, take the roll of coins to the coin star. like, come on, you all, like some simple stuff that we know how to do. Go to the ATM, fill out the paper forms at the doctor's, it's simple stuff. But Brad, you grew up in the Midwest. Who are you trying to get fancy on? Okay. Brad grew up in a working class family, so I know that you know how to push buttons on elevators and things like that. Although I do have to tell you something right now. I know how to do everything from before we got this talk show. Now that we have the show, I'm learning stuff, but I'm a little slow to the game. Like, I still don't know that thing, that DVR thing. Don't know nothing about that. And I'm just learning that chip thing. Well, first of all, the stores don't even know the chip thing, okay? Can we get that straight? The chip stuff. Anyway, so this guy, and by the way, and he said something about Brad using a lot of moisturizer, and that Brad is just not that guy without his moisturizer. And you ask, why is he doing so much talking? Are you ready? He's got a new reality show coming out. I know, I'm pissed. I'm pissed because the Bureau, they filled me in on the whole story, and then at the end, they said reality show, because the whole time that they're telling me, I'm like, what? What? And then they said reality show, I'm like, oh. Well, now, everybody wants to be famous. It's a reality show where civilians are put through rigorous tests of endurance and strength. And so he was asked by the host of the show that he was on promoting this reality show, does he think that Brad and Angelina could survive, the rigors of the show? And he said, Brad, no way. He said, Brad wouldn't last long because he wouldn't have any cream to put on his face. It would be too sweaty and uncomfortable for him. Funny thing is that, to me, like Brad and Johnny Depp are two of the sweatiest looking people all the time to me. Only sometimes I see Brad Pitt and I'm like, okay. Because other times I just think of him as, maybe a shower every other day. You know what I'm saying? An environmentalist safe water. But he said Angie could do it and she would stick it out. In other words, go into the jungle and survive. Yeah, so their divorce is still on, and I wish that security wasn't speaking out, because that's a real violation. But as long as he violated, I'm glad that it landed on our doorstep. So now, remember I was telling you that Lindsay Lohan opened this nightclub. And I was like the only one who thought this is a great idea. Well, you guys didn't think it was the best idea. Look how many people showed up. Lohan's is popping in Greece, okay? And I told you that she probably just lent her name to it. Lindsay doesn't have money. To open it. You know what I mean? Or at the very least, she's not good with it. So I was telling you yesterday that she opened this nightclub in Greece and it was funded by a billionaire. His name is Dennis. But I never saw a picture of Dennis except for this picture right here. And I said, okay, Lindsay and Dennis, they look like friends. Just because you're a nice looking man and just because you're a reasonable looking woman doesn't mean everybody's having sex. I mean, reasonable. She can still come back. But right now she just is, anyway. Well, hours after she posted on Instagram that they were just friends, this picture came out, and we've got it for you. First thing I said, though, was, ooh, everybody has good hair. Ooh. And her eyes are closed, and his eyes are closed. And he looks like George Michael used to look back in the day, right? And she looks a little bloated still, she's a little young, to be, but you take care of yourself, Lindsay, and listen, quite frankly, I think that this is an equal opportunity usation. It's perfect for both of you. No, in a good way. What Dennis gets is Dennis gets to be famous. He might be a billionaire, but we didn't know who Dennis was. And now here he is on Hot Topics. And she's not doing much with her life, so why not? If you can hook up with a billionaire and get him to spend money on you to make things happen for your life, why not? And on that note, we've got more great show for you, everybody. Jill Kaufman is here from Odd Mom Out. But up next, it's time for Celebrity Lookalikes. So don't go away. Thanks. How you doing? We've got lots more great videos for you. Just press here to watch the latest juicy hot topics. Press here for celebrity interviews. Go behind the scenes with our after show, or simply subscribe and get them all. I love you for watching.